Well, hello. I just wanted to demonstrate another feature on qBible, and that is that we can actually highlight terms. So in the same way that you would normally build a search, you're going to just hit your features, and then you're going to hit add term. And then if on this menu you've got highlight terms selected, you'll see that all instances of Elohim throughout the text become highlighted. So you'll see this is what it will normally look like without it highlighted. And so you just go to the drop down and enable it. Now, that's cool. You can highlight all instances of a particular lexeme, but you can also use it for something like highlighting prepositions. Anything that you can, any kind of search term that you can construct, you can also highlight, which is pretty cool. So you can see we're not just getting bait, we're getting eth, and we're getting al. And somewhere down here we'll be getting min, may, el, etc. So that might seem a bit random, a bit arbitrary to want to do. But what will become more interesting is if we use it, say, in the Psalms, and notice verb clustering. So here we've got a Psalm, the David, and this is the superscription. So let's highlight verbs, but instead of just highlighting verbs in general, let's highlight third-person verbs. All right, let's add that. And now we see, okay, so this is when Doeg the Edomite came to Saul and said to him, that David is in the house of Ahimelech. So here, verses 1 and 2 are the superscription. So we've got third-person verbs here, and you can see them throughout the psalm. But actually, the first kind of verse outside of the superscription, David is using a second-person verb. So let's add that, and you'll see that actually we've got all these second-person verbs at the beginning, and Selah just at the end of verse 5, before our last second-person verb, and then this cluster of third-person verbs. And then right at the end, David switches back, and he starts using first-person verbs again. So this is kind of interesting, just to look at the clustering of verbs. Notice the kind of structure, internal structure. It's not always going to be so evident, but this is just one kind of use case for it, and you can kind of just scroll through the Psalms, for example, and notice how they're grouped. Now, something just to be aware of is if you put in a more general term, like verb, when you've got these three first, second, and third person verbs before it, and you add that, it's going to highlight over everything else. And so basically the rightmost search term, or the last one that you added, is going to override the others. And that's just something to be aware of when you construct your search.